Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Rosina Starr. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. So we are going to continue with Female Toxic Friendships Part 3. So going along in life, I have had a lot of friendships with women, and I have learned a lot from the relationships and people I've been presented with. And to me, that's the most important thing, besides having friendships that could actually be worth having. Sadly, I remember a lot of my childhood friendships to be more normal than any kind of adult, high school / anything after that type of relationships with girls, especially around my age or even a little older or even a little younger. The reason for that I really will never know. I think it's based vaguely on jealousy or envy or some kind of lacking in their own regard. I don't know if there was something that they didn't like about me or something they felt they had to compete with or something about themselves they didn't like. Obviously, it was probably more about them than it was about me. So when we talk about these toxic friendships and what they can really do to a person, it really is hard to say. So we'll bring up my friend Laura. I went to my 10-year reunion with my friend Ava, our 10-year reunion from high school. And I hadn't talked to Joe, my ex, in many years. Well, not many years, but at least a few years. He'll check on me now and then. And surprisingly, he was a high school love, and he is the one I think about the least and remember the least about. I guess maybe he wasn't memorable. I don't know. I just don't remember the guy really in any kind of way, especially sexually or anything. I just know that he cheated on me, and that's why we had broken up in high school. His dad worked at GM, so, he got, a nice Ford Mustang to drive around, and I think it all kind of went to his head. I mean, this man was hair down to here, and he wore baggy pants like that at the bottom. I mean, he was a Janko Fila type of guy, but kind of partied like an only child because he was the youngest, I think, of 3 or 4 kids, and the parents had a very strange type of relationship. Anyway, he was a nice guy. He began to be very popular after we changed his look. But I did notice at the reunion that Laura had come right up to me, almost like this was rehearsed or planned or something, and said, "Oh my God, how could you stay with Joe so long? He was the worst sex and lover I had ever had." And I said to her, "Okay." And she's like, "Was it that way for you?" And I was like, upon arrival, dating somebody else, wondering where this is coming from, completely out of nowhere, just blindsided by this, okay? And I'm like, well, Laura, I think sex with somebody really has to do more with how you feel about that person than the physical experience of pleasure itself. And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, that's all I wanted." And then she was just like very awkward and odd towards me. You look at her husband and think, well, he's certainly settled. So anyway, it was just like, it's interactions like that from childhood. What you were jealous of something I had, so you had to go and try it and didn't like it. Wow, more power to you. And then my friend Ava says to me, "Is Laura hating?" And I said, "No, it's fine." She's like, "Okay, good." So, she was always somebody looking out for me, but she was still in her own way of being, anti-me and more towards herself, what can I get type of mentality later on. She showed her true colors. So I don't know why that came up at our 10-year reunion. It was very awkward being there after that. I was happy to leave a little early. Of course, I was dating Eric then and went back home to him. And my friend Ava was still waiting on her Prince Charming. And eventually then she had found him, but she was working at the bar about 7 days a week and got her very own position there. Good for her, accelerating like she likes to do, and she always does. And I, commend her for that. So anyway, yeah, after that, Laura blocked me on Facebook. She wasn't a friend of mine. Her dad owned a bunch of bars locally, and he's a millionaire, but he wouldn't give me the time of day and really acted just like a character to know something about me to almost transfer information somewhere else like a flying monkey, but too bad I already know about that game. So that was an awkward encounter with somebody that was supposed to be my friend, right? So anyway, as we move along, we go back to living in Rockford back in maybe 2006, 2008, something like that. And there was this girl, named Nikita. And she was, a beautiful mulatto-looking lady, worked with me and stuff like that, and kind of lived out in the ghetto, kind of in the parts where I live now, for now, right? And, yeah, she was the type of person very, very insidiously sneaky. I mean, I would have a bottle of Kettle One in that refrigerator, and I would go run an errand or something, and she wouldn't come with. That whole bottle of Kettle One was completely almost empty by the time I got back home, because I was getting some milk, and I'll say, "Did you drink this vodka, Nikita?" "No, I don't know." It turns out she was an alcoholic and had a really bad drinking problem. Lord knows what else she did in my house when I was away. But that's besides the point. My ex Eric didn't mind these girls hanging around, but then there was one other girl named Paige, and she had piercings in different places, and turns out she liked to send him pictures behind my back, come to find out, and we only all hung out maybe a few times just in passing. They're coming and he's going, or he's coming and they're going. So it was always a joke on me. Ha ha ha, these girls think they're getting ahead or something. And then these girls would always try, like I said, because they thought I was doing so much better than them, to somehow mooch or sponge off of me for something. My time, my energy, my resources, my car. If they could sell me a story, it was like a hit of supply. If they could screw something up on accident, and then I found out later, it's ha 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 ha. We got over on one or something. It was just kind of a sad truth that I came to realize about these friendships of mine that were not really friendships at all. They were situationships and relationships to be had and discarded by me. And, if you see the signs early, you can get rid of people way sooner than later. I mean, I even had a girl do my hair, pretend to be my friend. "Oh, let's go out, let's hang out, let's go to this bar," and blah, blah, blah. And anytime you'd make plans with her, she'd always break them. At least she'd tell you she'd break them, or she'd just say, "Oh, I forgot we had plans. I'm sorry that I was so low on your list." Really, I don't give a shit. If you want to go out and do something, it was actually your idea, then let's do it. Then there's the fake friends that are flying monkeys for the narcissist, but you won't know they're there. And that's a video for another time. But there was this girl named Amanda that I used to talk to in Bolingbrook, and she lived not too far away from there. And she would always act like she wanted to hang out and make plans and do something, and every single time she always had an excuse why she didn't want to. And now that I live here, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you gotta come to Chicago, we gotta get together." Get the fuck out of here, bitch. You don't want to be my friend. You had so many times. I lived in Bolingbrook at least 2 or 3 years, and you didn't once take on an advance because, oh, your life is so messed up, there's a constant crisis going on. She had more than enough opportunities to link up and be my friend, even at her convenience, and she didn't take it. So, deleted and blocked her off of Facebook. I've deleted a lot of girls off Facebook, and really, honestly and truly, unless, there's gonna be a need for me to need you in some way. Let's say you're good at sewing, and I maybe need a wedding dress or something fixed now and then, and I can pay you for your services. That's why I'll keep you on my Facebook. But other than that, I don't need you. Are you paying my bills? Are you, doing things productive to help my life as I would for you? Probably not. So it's what is the point then? A real friend? Let's talk about what a real friend is to conclude this video, because it's getting a little long. A real friend answers the phone, happily to hear from you. A real friend makes good on plans. A real friend initiates plans and keeps them. A real friend cancels and really reschedules because they want to see you. A real friend keeps commitments. A real friend is loyal to your face and behind your back. A real friend does not bring up things even that other people would say to hurt you. A real friend is somebody that you can talk to with confidence, that doesn't badmouth your business. You'll never hear about it later on. A real friend is somebody that you can give a hug to and you can feel the feelings between you guys. A real friend is somebody that will have your back in a time of need, even when you don't even ask them. A real friend is somebody that will check on you without you freaking needing to ask them to check on you. A real friend will take you to appointments that are important to your health and your well-being and be there for you afterwards to take care of you, to make sure you're all right. A real friend calls to check on you, expecting nothing in return. Nothing. A real friend will bring you your favorite drink, will, schedule somewhere special to take you for your birthday. If it's warranted, they'll send you a card. They'll make you feel special on certain days of the week because they need that extra little encouragement. I mean, what happened to any of that from people in this world? What happened to that? Oh, you know what happened to that? Narcissism. That's where the world has led us. Into narcissistic hell. But I'm sure there really are some good true friends out there. I just haven't found them yet. I'm going to continue my search with different energy and keep looking and base it on something other than outward appearances and what we would have in common materially and, what we want to get later on. Just being part of the same shit show workplace isn't going to cut it anymore. So it's going to be much deeper than that. If there's any advice I can give anybody out there, keep searching and keep never settling. Friendship is really hard to come by. And so is trusting people, but I believe it still can be had. This is Rosina Starr. Thank you for listening. Good day.